Do you know where you're safest? Is it behind locked doors, inside padded walls? Or perhaps, simply, in the quiet solitude of your own room? Tonight, my darling shadows, let us consider a place most assume is harmless. Harmless until you truly start to notice. The mirror. Innocent glass, they tell you. Yet, what if I told you, mirrors are far from neutral observers? They're liars, deceivers. And oh, they see much more than you will ever know. They are a boundary, a glimpse into a world that mimics ours, but not precisely. Listen closely, and allow me to tell you the story of Hannah Whitford, who discovered just how dangerous trusting your reflection could be. But promise me one thing, never check your mirror while listening to this tale. Not even a glance. Agreed? Good. Let's begin. Hannah was ordinary. A woman whose days bore the marks of monotony. Coffee at 7 a.m., meetings until noon, and solitude in the evenings. Her downtown apartment was empty most hours, save those fleeting stretches she called hers. And yet her apartment had a feature, some would call it luxurious. A sprawling antique mirror hung on her living room wall. Gold framing flaked like it came from another century, but it held its ground, pristine, as if buffed with whispers instead of towels. Hannah had inherited it from her grandmother, a woman who lived and rambled about old tales nobody else took seriously. But Hannah, in despairingly normal fashion, never gave much thought to it. That is, until last Tuesday. Or was it 30 years ago? Time, as we know it, means little here. Let's just say, sometime after dusk, but deep into silence. Hannah had been sitting alone, scrolling through her phone when a flash, like light caught by metal, darted across the edge of her periphery. Startled, she looked up. The mirror, heavy and ancient, seemed to emit nothing unusual. And yet, she felt an unease creeping up her spine, settling like frost on her skin. You feel it too, don't you? That tingle? That flow of ice cascading down the back of your neck? Leaning closer, Hannah noticed her reflection behaved. Oddly natural. Not wrong, exactly, but sharper. Almost as though her mirror self was mocking her. A layer of awareness emanating from behind the glass. She smiled tentatively. Her reflection smiled back, of course, but its expression lingered for a fraction of a second too long, before reverting to neutral. It was subtle, so excruciatingly subtle. And it was just the beginning. Now let this haunt your thoughts. A mirror can make you question all you understand about reality, because, unlike your own eyes, it never truly blinks. Hannah chalked up what she witnessed as exhaustion. After all, she'd been working overtime recently. Yet the following night, the mirror seemed to bleed significance. Things weren't just being reflected, they seemed rewritten. When Hannah walked into her living room with a coffee cup, the mirror held a different story altogether. A fragment of motion caught her attention. Her reflection, there before her, walked with that same mug held in the same right hand. But, pause for anticipation. There was no steam rising from the cup. It wasn't drained, no. It was solid within her reflection, as though frozen in time. If you're leaning in ever so slightly, wondering what happened next, let me illuminate the darkness for you. Stricken by a cold panic she couldn't suppress, Hannah experimented. She sat in front of the mirror, deliberately placed items in the room. Keys, a scarf, a lit candle. Each object mimicked perfectly until... they didn't. The scarf lay crumpled on the floor in the real-world apartment. But in the mirror, draped elegantly over a chair, the candle's flame swayed unnaturally in the reflection, appearing to stretch, with sparks that crept upwards. And yet here, in our world, the wick burned steady as ever. One could argue Hannah should have fled then, but curiosity has its own claws, doesn't it? Maybe that's why you're still here. Stay, though. It's worth uncovering the truth, yes? Hannah stood closer, until her nose nearly grazed the gilded frame. She whispered softly, for she was alone, or thought she was. "Who are you?" Her reflection answered as expected, repeating her words, until it didn't. "Oh, yes." Her mouth stopped moving as her reflection grinned, painfully wide. It cooed. Oh, how sweetly it cooed. "You're late." And then the room twisted with laughter, the likes of which you cannot unhear. That was when it lunged. Yes, the reflection, the she-thing, grasped her hands from within the glass as reality screamed and fractured. But we've tarried long enough at the brink. What do you think happened then? Did she escape? Is she trapped? Or, darling witness, perhaps the girl named Hannah was never the reflection at all, but merely something else entirely. I'll leave you to wonder, while I blow you a breathless kiss goodbye. Just one piece of advice should you find yourself dwelling in the glow of your own glass come nightfall. Resist its call. Mirrors have teeth after all. Sleep gently. Sweet dreams, if you dare.